Jordan Morris comes of age and a potential trap game for the Seattle Sounders coming up on the Quest Diagnostics Scouting Report. Hey everybody, thanks for watching the Quest Diagnostics Scouting Report. Good health starts with knowing. I'm Nick Firchau. We'll be joined by Steve Zakuani shortly, previewing a big matchup for the Seattle Sounders on Wednesday night at home at CenturyLink Field against the Chicago Fire. Kickoff 7:30 p.m. Pacific on Joe TV, as well as local radio, Cairo 97.3 FM and El Rey 1360 AM. The Sounders come into this game on Wednesday night on the heels of back-to-back wins, including a win on the road at the LA Galaxy on Sunday. Saw Jordan Morris score his 11th and 12th goals of the season. Steve Zakuani has more on what we saw from Morris the other night and why it bodes well for another repeat performance on Wednesday night.
Yes, Jordan Morris is a confident kid right now, and that's bad news for the rest of MLS. Jordan is the same player he was earlier this year, but he's just a lot more clinical. The runs are the same, the chances he's getting are the same, but now, more often than not, they ended up in the back of the net. And we saw two finishes at the weekend which showcase his array of talent. The first goal is pure pace and power. We knew Jordan had this, but the thing that was different this time is once he got one-on-one, the caliber of finish was from the top level. And that's a chance that Jordan has missed earlier this year, but at this point now, the way he's playing, he's able to take the team on his back, decide the game in that moment with the outside of his right foot into the top corner. And his second goal, it might look simple, but the composure it takes inside the 6-yard box with all those bodies around to move the ball from the right foot to the left foot, create space for himself and finish it for the third goal of the game is much more difficult than it looks. And so, Chicago Fire coming into town, I would not bet against Jordan Morris finding the back of the net for his 13th and maybe also his 14th goal of the season.
Interesting challenge for Jordan Morris and the Seattle Sounders on Wednesday night against the Chicago Fire. Let's take a look at some of the information about the Fire when they come in here. Obviously not a very good road team this year, just one win in 14 games away from home and winless in 4 games all time in Seattle over the years, and a lot of their problems stem from offensive issues. 19th in MLS in shots on goal and 20th in MLS in big scoring chances. Now they have a couple silver linings. David Accam is the Ghanaian striker that a lot of people like. He's been good for the Fire over 2 years, 18 goals and 6 assists in 44 games, and a lot of people excited about Matt Polster, a guy who appeared on the recent 24 under 24 list on MLSsoccer.com. So you take all that, maybe it's a trap game for the Seattle Sounders on Wednesday. Steve has a little bit more on that.
Playing against an Eastern Conference team is strange sometimes for the Western Conference teams because you don't see them too often. And Chicago is a team that the Sounders aren't too familiar with. But I don't think that matters for the game on Wednesday night because this game is all about the Sounders. It's all about getting 3 points and keeping that momentum going. We've been talking about the games in hand on the teams above them. Well, this is one of them. And you have to make those games in hand count. The Fire have had a terrible, terrible season. You can't sugarcoat that. But here's the danger. Even though they have no playoff implications, those guys on the field tomorrow playing for the Chicago Fire, they're playing for their jobs. They're playing for their futures. So they will be motivated, they will be professional, and they will come and bring their best effort. It is a trap game for the Sounders. It's the kind of game where you look on paper and you think 3 points. If you show up with the attitude and you drop the 3 points, you're right back where you were before the LA game and you undo the great work you did in California this past weekend. So for the Sounders, you've got to be concentrated, you've got to put the knife into Chicago as soon as you get your chance. You get a chance, you score. If you're 3 goals better, then beat them 3-0. That's the challenge for the Sounders tomorrow, but the key is to get 3 points no matter what.
So 3 points on the line for the Seattle Sounders on Wednesday night, and they're big 3 points. Kickoff 7:30 p.m. Pacific at CenturyLink Field. You can watch it on local TV, Joe TV, as well as on the radio, Cairo 97.3 FM and El Rey 1360 AM. For Steve Zakuani, I'm Nick Firchau. Thanks for watching the Quest Diagnostics Scouting Report.